So I want to talk a little bit more about radical imagination that we started to talk about, and that we as architects and designers and planners, developers, whoever you are, can help in supporting the urgent and radical imagining and planning that we need to truly build our future, right? So I want to ask the panelists to dive a little bit deeper on what they think that looks like now, and then what they think that looks like in the near future.
Who wants to
And maybe,
I don't want to go first.
yeah, it's a big one.
Radical imagination now, for me, means being brave and being vulnerable and removing shame from our existence. And the core of shame for me, and I've been reflecting on this a lot, is that little voice in your head that tells you, who the hell do you think you are? You're not good enough to do that. You don't have enough X, you don't have enough Y, why are you even trying to do that? And more surprising than not, that little voice is pretty darn loud for a lot of people. And I think the radical imagination for me is to decouple those voices of doubt, the societal structures, those systems that reinforce that you're not good enough to be here, right? And until we are able to do that, we can't imagine anything because that voice is shutting us down. So I learned a trick, which is write whatever that doubt that's coming into your head on a Post-it, crumple it up, and throw it away in the wastebasket. The act of throwing that whatever BS thing, and then we can open up the canvas of radical imagination, because we could be goofy, we could be silly, the wild and crazy ideas that come out of our head, that's where radical, hopefully, imagination starts. Like, why not, right? Why can't we do that? Because somebody told us we couldn't, because somebody sneered at us and said, that's kind of stupid. So hopefully that's a good starting place. And then in the future, if we've exercised our brains and we've gotten stronger, and we can also translate that and encourage other people, right, to say, yes, that's a great idea, and what about this? Instead of saying, no, that's not good, let's all practice saying, yes, that's interesting, and what about something else? Let's try to build on each other instead of tear each other apart. So hopefully that's my wish for the future.
I think a bit of radical imagination also looks like making space. I think there was when Deanna was speaking about that project in Detroit and they bought the land next to it, and she talked about the finance piece. A lot of what drives these choices is frankly money, right? And a lot of what drives that is return on investment. And so to me, radical imagination is kind of rethinking what that means, right? Can't we do something different? And it fundamentally means making space. It means thinking what I want to get out is something different, and I'm ceding space to maybe the community. But I think that idea of, like, when we say we can do it if people imagine a different endpoint, right? That you may not make the same amount of money or get the same endpoint, but that's a huge part of like reimagining the process, the outcome, and so like making space. I feel like I spoke a lot before. I'm taking a break now, right?
Yeah, I'm taking a break. I just said a whole bunch of
stuff.
Yes.